Hello, welcome to episode 2.
Of Floorever friends. This intro is gonna be awkward every single time, so
Honestly,
get
hopefully
with
we
it.
eventually just cut the intro.
Yeah,
It never
probably.
gets less awkward.
Yeah.
But we're going to talk about winter today and our favorite activities, what we're looking forward to.
Mm-hmm.
Favorite activities, Angela? Go.
Favorite activities? Oh, geez. Okay. I like. Well, winter comes with Christmas and the holidays. So growing up, my dad would actually take us and go look at the lights on other people's
Nice.
houses.
Oh,
So
you just drive around?
yeah, they would just
Okay.
drive around, which hindsight is kind of creepy. But the other part too is that people put up these decorations to be looked at. So it was one of my favorite childhood memories because people where I live would go really hard.
No, I actually think it's normal to drive around and look at lights. And I do think that you can find articles about what neighborhoods you should drive through
Oh,
to look
really?
at lights. It's very
Wow.
common.
Okay.
It's like people do for Halloween too, to drive around and look at Halloween
Yeah.
decorations. I think it's pretty normal.
Yeah.
Does your family put up lights though?
No.
You put up a Christmas tree?
We did for 1 year.
Only one?
No, yeah, we did it for 1 year. We never took it down, so it was up for 5 years.
Wait.
Because my family doesn't celebrate Christmas, so my dad would put it up. We admired it for 30 minutes after. We're like, wow, it's so nice. Then we turned off the lights, went to bed, and then never took it down for
Did you
another
take off the lights?
No, it's
So
like
it just looked like a Christmas
it was a year-round thing.
My family used to put up a Christmas tree. We had this small one. It was really cute.
Mhm.
And we used to put it up when we lived in our old house before we moved.
Mm-hmm.
And then we got dogs. We never put it back up.
Mm-hmm.
And I wonder if the reason we never put it back up was because we were worried that they were going to pee on it, even though they were relatively well trained. But after that, we never put it back up.
Yeah, my sister does a Christmas tree every year now, but since I've gotten cats, we found out. Excuse me, I'm just burping. We found out that my cats they climb the tree.
Oh yeah.
So they like to climb it, and before they were really small, so they would
Mhm.
climb it and just sit on because it's a fake tree, so they would just sit on the layers of it, and but they started eating the plastic, so it's just oh no. And now this is our second year with cats, and I'm worried because they're bigger, they're gonna break the tree now.
They're gonna weigh it down. It's gonna
Yeah,
tip.
it's gonna tip, and I'm scared, but we'll have to see.
In the winter, it's that time where you're looking to get cozy.
Yeah,
So
it's cold out.
it's
Let's go
cold
warm
out.
up with
Let's
someone. Oh.
So Angela's relationship status based off of that.
Oh, I'm very single. I feel like everybody who would listen to this can pick that up right away. I have 2 cats. I live in my sister's basement. I sound so sad.
I have Angela. Do with that what you will. Angela and I will talk about people and be like, I want to be their friend. Does anyone look at us and think, I want to be their friend?
Mm-hmm. I feel yes, mostly because after I've become friends with people, I'll ask them, be like, what did you think of me? Because I don't know why I have a weird self-esteem issue or something. I don't know. But I'll just be like, hey, now that we're friends, I can ask you this. I really wanted to be your friends, and I'm so glad I'm friends with you. Did you feel the same? And I feel people are like, yeah. Or I'll ask them what was your first thoughts of me? And they're like, you were just a person that I thought was fine. And I'm honestly good enough for me.
I feel like no one I have met has said to me, I really wanted to be your friend. Besides you, actually. You're the one who has said that. Now that I think about it. Everyone else I just kind of ended up friends with.
Mm-hmm.
But no one has been no, I wanted to be your friend. I pursued this relationship because I really liked you as a friend.
Yeah, I feel as I've gotten older, I'll just admit that right away. I'd be like, hey, I really like talking to you. I really want to be your friend. Let's keep talking or whatever. I'm trying to think of the person I can think of was my coworker, and I think we just really, well, first of all, it's a shared trauma of working at the same place, of the same workplace or whatever environment. But at the same time too, it's I feel we talked afterwards, and we're we got to the point where we're okay, beyond this work, after we both quit, we both still really want to be each other's friends. And I think I don't know, that's just it's nice because it's hard to make adult friendships. I feel
it's so hard.
What did you think of me?
What did I think of
Yeah.
you? You were a person.
I was fine.
No, I thought you were nice. I feel like generally when I meet people, because I'm so caught up in thinking about like what I should say and how I should act, I don't have that much of an opinion of that person beyond the fact that you were nice or we vibed well or you had good things to say. I don't have many thoughts beyond that unless I meet someone and for some reason I'm like, wow, we really hit it off. So you're
really? So you're just like, I was a person.
You were a person.
And you were
I
fine.
enjoyed being around you. I was willing to hang out with you again.
Yeah. I think, yeah, okay, that's fair.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, I was like, I feel like I do have impressions of people. Like, I think if they don't leave a strong enough impression, I won't try to pursue a further communication with them, you know? Because, like, some people are simply just that or just people to talk to. But other people, I think especially, like, with you and, like, most of my friends, I'd be like, what can I do to make this person my friend? And my default is, like, I'm gonna make them laugh as much as possible.
That's a good way to go.
Humor. Yeah.
But I feel like I don't leave that strong of an impression.
Well, not the impression that, oh, this girl doesn't like me.
Oh, I forgot. That was the impression. I don't leave that strong of an impression that you would want to pursue a relationship with me. You would want to do the opposite.
What do you mean?
Run away.
Run away. This is why we're still single.
I'm gonna watch this podcast and be like, hey, this girl's insane.
Yeah.
Red flag. Red flag.
Red flag. Speaking of which, though, do you have like specific red flags that you look for when you're like pursuing partners, or are you just like, I guess before that, are you in the dating game?
I'm not looking, but I'm not against it, is what I would say. I'm not actively seeking, like I'm not on the dating sites, I'm not on the dating apps, I'm not going out to meet people or really having people set me up, even though we joke around about it. But if something happens and like I meet someone I like or meet someone that I think I might like, then I'm willing to pursue something if it goes that direction. But I'm not really looking. What about you?
Well, I was going to add on to that, being like, I feel like everybody who's been in a relationship has always said that, has been like, oh, you know, I wasn't really looking. It just happened organically. Oh, it happened naturally. And I'm sitting here and I'm like, I've been single my entire life.
I don't think that's true at all, though. I think especially like because I dated out of high school, and in those situations, I do think it happens a lot of times naturally because you're just surrounded by the same people all the time. But in college, it's not as easy. You might meet someone at like an event or like a party, but outside of that, you're not going to have someone approach you at the library. This isn't a K-drama. Like, that just doesn't happen. And nowadays, online dating is so common. And I feel like most of the time when I talk to people about how they've met their significant other, they say things like online dating. So I feel like it's the norm now to meet people online dating. So people are very intentionally going out and looking for someone. What do you think of that?
Of like online dating or like...
I guess of online dating.
Of online dating. I think it's definitely become the norm, especially, you know, after the pandemic and everything. And everybody's on like social media or some form of like on their phone, on the internet. Everyone's on it, no matter who you are. And I think like I feel like it is a natural progression of like online dating. For me personally, I don't think it's ever really worked out. I feel like it feels kind of skewed out, especially when you have like these documentaries coming out, like the Tinder swindler, the, you know, like all these like phishing, like,
it's,
you know, because predators are so out there.
It's definitely scary. And I think it's much easier to put on a persona online than it is in person, because when you meet someone in person, you can see the way they move, the way they talk. You kind of have like a reaction towards them, whether you know or not. Like something about them will make you uncomfortable if they're not good for you. Whereas when you meet someone online, it's much harder to judge that.
I agree. It's harder to have conversation, I think, online too, because like, I don't know, I feel like I'm very reliant on like on like subtle body movements or subtle like reactions of like, am I saying the right thing? What is the vibe of this? Because like my experience on these dating apps is that like I go in kind of like not expecting something like super serious to happen, just kind of like to go in and be like, let's talk to some people. And every time I'm just like, I feel like the people I talk to are either taking it way too seriously. Like, someone, like, the first question asked me, like, their opening statement was like, what do you think about death? And I'm just like, like, that's not a first date question. You know? And I was like, I responded funnily. I'm just like, I don't know, it happened. Like, you know, I just like,
It happens.
it happens, you
It's
know?
natural.
It's natural, whatever, right? But it's just like, there's like, no, but like, what is the philosophy? I'm like, I'm not trying to have these 3 a.m. talks with a completely random stranger. And that's like, you're like, hello, what do you think about death? Like, that's red flag, you know? So, yeah, I think maybe I'll probably try online dating again, you know, because there's so many apps out there.
There are so many apps, and everyone tells me that if you are picky on these apps, you can actually find really good people.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there are, because you're a really good person, and there's other people like you
Yeah.
on these apps.
Right.
I think for me, though, besides the fact that I just want to meet organically,
I
like
agree.
in person. I just don't want our meet cute to be through a dating app. Where's the romance in that?
Yeah.
So I would prefer to meet someone organically, but I also think the transition from being online to in person is something that I would struggle with. Just because I'm much more talkative online, it's easier for me to carry that conversation. Whereas in person, I'm a little bit more hesitant. So
interesting. I feel the opposite.
Really, it's for me. It's much easier for me to speak online. I'm pretty good at like keeping a text message conversation going. Whereas in person, I'm like, I don't necessarily know what I want to say. So I'm like 2 different people.
Yeah. No, I completely understand that too. I think it's easier for me to carry on a conversation when it's in person because you can't just leave. You know, you can't just put down your phone. Like, you have to sit there and you have to be engaged. But if like I'm on, like, because like, I don't know if you've noticed this, but like, I feel like you're always the last person to speak on like a text conversation or message or whatever, because I'm just like, okay, this is the end of a conversation, and like, I'll just like set it down and forget it.
No, that always happens to me. I am always the last person to speak in a text message conversation. Even if you just ask me a question or just confirming something, I will confirm it back just so you know that I've seen it. But that's why it's hard for me, because I feel obligated to answer a text message. Like, I feel bad for ghosting. I'm one of those people.
I've just gotten comfortable with it. I
See,
think it makes so bad.
Feel so bad, especially since I'm not necessarily the type of person to go out and text someone unless I'm super comfortable. So if you text me, I appreciate that you're reaching out to me. So I'm going to keep the conversation going for as long as you want. And if you leave, then you did it on your terms. But because of that, where was I going with this? Oh, it's hard for me to leave like a text message conversation, so it's easy for me to keep it going. But when I'm in person, I'm okay sitting in silence. I'm probably not on a first date, though.
Yeah.
You know, but not on a first date, but like in general, like I can sit in silence and just listen to you speak. And that's okay with me.
Yeah. I don't know. It's like...
You were like saying, I was like, what do you want me to do?
Yeah, I don't know. I've only ever been on one first date, but I already knew the guy prior, so it's like, it wasn't really it didn't feel like a date to me, honestly. It was just like, I'm hanging out with someone.
You know, my sister used to always joke around about how I've never been in the dating game because I was dating my ex-boyfriend for so long. And she's so right, though, because I was like, what are you talking about? I was dating this boy for like 4 years. And she was like, no, but you've never been in the dating game. And she's so right, though, because I've never really gone on like the casual dates. I don't even know what to do.
No, I agree. I agree.
Where do we go? What do we talk about? Who pays? What do you do? Who do you think should pay on a date?
I think if it's the first time meeting the person, I'm a big advocate of just pay for yourself, unless the other person is insistent of like, no, let me get this or get this. I think at the end of the day, you should just each pay for yourself.
Okay, I think the person who asks should pay for the date.
That's also a good...
So if I ask you, even though you're the guy, I should pay for the date. But if you ask me, I think you should pay for the date. I'm okay splitting as well. But I think it is nicer when one person pays. I just think it's more romantic.
Yeah, I think like as much as I don't want to admit it, I do think that I'm like a big romantic at heart. Like, I like these big ideas of like, oh, the guy pays, like, you know, they ask the first day or like ask for the day and everything, but like on the other flip side is like, I know that's not realistic.
Would you ask someone else out?
if I really liked them, but
Okay.
I think I wouldn't, because I also feel like I'm really bad at picking up cues and marks and stuff. So like I feel like I'm always misinterpreting a situation, which like it was interesting to me because I was talking to my sister. She's like, there were people interested in you in high school, because we went to high school in the same.
I was in this conversation.
Yeah, you were in this conversation.
No, yeah,
but like I was like, I never picked up on that. Like I assumed they were just like
no,
really friendly, or even if I did pick up on it, I'm like, they never made the move, so
no,
I never.
yeah, I think because so the conversation was that Angela was saying that she doesn't think that anyone's been interested in her, and I was like, there's just no way that's true. And her sister immediately named like 4 people.
But like I also like I was like, I don't get that vibe from them.
Well, one, they were either bad at flirting, or you just
didn't pick up on it.
Yeah.
Well, okay, to be fair, the people she named, I certainly hope they don't listen to this, but like I think they were also like socially awkward as well. So it was just very like, we were like
just
similar in that way
flirting.
of like we're like, do we like each other, or are we just misinterpreting the situation?
See, but that's like the fun time when you're like in the chase.
Yeah,
I'm a fan of the chase. I'm a fan of the chase.
Yeah, I feel like my policy is that like my policy. I think I don't know. I just like I think like if someone had asked me out and I was just like not interested in them, I would still feel flattered, unless they were like creepy. But like I would still feel flattered that like you have feelings for me. Like that's a weird like self-validation of like, oh, I'm a good person, or like someone is interested in me. Like I don't think I'd ever be like, even if it's a no, and like me giving that no, I'm just kind of like, I just don't see you in that way, but I do think you're a good person, or like I don't
It's so weird, awkward when people ask me out that I'm not interested in. I'm just kind of like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm not interested.
Yeah,
it's so awkward. Like I don't know how to say it any nicer. Like that is me trying to be nice, and I hope it comes out.
Yeah.
Nice.
Is it like strangers, or just like?
I don't think I've really been asked out by someone I know.
Yeah.
Maybe like once or twice I've been asked out by someone I know and have rejected, but we weren't close friends or anything. It's just someone that like I've met a few times.
Okay.
But usually it's strangers, and I'm like,
yeah, strangers is a different thing. I feel like this goes back to like online dating versus like meeting organically. It's that like I feel like in order for me to say like, yeah, let's go on a date, or let's see where this takes us romantically, I'd have to like meet the person and like, I don't know, like know them in a prior setting that's not on a date.
I could see that, because from my perspective, it's weird to date a friend, but at the same time, why would you want to date someone that you couldn't be friends with?
Right.
Yeah. So it's weird, right?
Yeah. No, I completely understand what you're saying.
And the transition though from being like friends to dating is a weird one. Like even just thinking about it, I'm like, oh, ew. Like, no, I don't really want to do that. But at the same time, I don't really want to date someone that I'm not comfortable being friends with.
No, that makes sense. But I think like that also comes into like a whole bunch of, this has become this has quickly shifted from like,
it's okay, we have plenty of time. We can go back to cuffing season.
Yeah,
we have plenty of things to talk about.
But like this, but like dating your friends or dating a friend, I feel like comes with its own like set of like drama and stuff, of like, especially if you guys share friends, like all of a sudden like you have to be considerate of other people in that friend group's relationship, because like, I don't know, in my experience, every time that has happened, it's been like multiple people were interested in one person in that relationship. And it's like just in general, like it, whether it be in my own friend group, be it in other friends' friend groups, like it's always a situation. It's so cliched, and
but
it's just
it makes
like
sense when you think about it, because we just talked about the idea of why would you want to date someone you're not friends with? So it kind of makes sense that there are multiple people in a friend group who are interested in the same person. It's horrible.
I'm just like, it's dramatic. It like
drama situation.
Yeah, it can be very dramatic, but or like other times it's also just like, I don't know. I think it's always,
it's hard.
Kind of some drama with it.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's just because like most of my, like we're all young 20s, right? So I've only been in like younger friendships or relationships. I don't know if that's true if you're older.
I feel like regardless of your age, it's always a bit uncomfortable.
Yeah. I don't know. To each their own, though. Especially, like, and then, like, also, like, you have to think about the fallout, too. Is that if you've dated in a friend group, like, which friends do you claim your own? And I guess it depends on, like, the breakup and the situation and stuff, but...
It's such a weird thing to think about, because when you think about it, why should you have to think about all of this extra information? Because if you like each other and you have feelings for one another, why do I have to think about all of this excess? But at the same time, it's not right to ignore it.
I agree. I think it's like, this is coming from my perspective, which has always been like kind of on the outside of it, and that's why I would think about all this excess stuff, because that's like, oh, I've been on the other side, you know. But I agree too. It's like, why can't you be selfish in this like thing? Because it's not even really being selfish. It's just like, you're living your life.
Yeah, you would think that people would be understanding of it, because like, if you like me and I like you, and there's someone else in this friend group who likes you, what are you supposed to do about it? Like, if you don't reciprocate that feelings, like, why are you angry at me? It's like, I understand where the anger is coming from and those feelings are coming from, but at the same time, they're not very logical.
Love isn't logical. I don't know.
Okay, but back to cuffing season.
Cuffing season.
Since it's winter, do you feel more inclined to be in a relationship, since everything seems like it's going that direction?
Should we define what cuffing season is?
Yes.
I feel like anybody who listens we refer to the audience a lot, but I think our target demographic is probably mid-20s, whatever. You guys probably know what cuffing season is, but if you don't and you've been living under a rock, it's refers to a period of time where single people begin looking for short-term partnerships to pass the colder months of the year. Cuffing season usually begins in October and lasts until just after Valentine's Day. So that is the quick Google search definition.
I can't believe that's a thing.
Yeah, I mean...
At what age do you think cuffing season becomes relevant for people?
College. I think it's like...
Do you think it's college?
I think it's like adult. Yeah,
right. Do you think it's college or right after college? Because I feel like in college, you're so stressed out with school and you're like constantly around your friends and such, and you go home to see your family if you have family, that it's not as relevant. But like after college is when you realize that you don't get to see your friends as often, you're not constantly surrounded by people, and that's when you might realize you're a little bit lonely.
Are you speaking from experience?
No,
just kidding. No, but yeah,
I think it's college.
I think there's a slight
right
overlap.
After college.
I think there's a slight overlap, but I do think it happens more frequently right after college, or at least like right after like schooling, or right after like that period of time in which you are surrounded by people constantly.
I also think it happens a lot when you're maybe a little bit older and everyone you know is married or in a relationship or has a family, but you are that one person that doesn't have someone. I think that's also when it hits really hard.
Yeah, and I think that's why like filmmakers and everything can capitalize kind of like on that cuffing season.
Understand this.
Yeah, like this is a unified feeling of wanting to be with someone to spend like the colder months with, to like cozy up.
I wonder what age is like peak
cuffing season. Like what is ideal age?
At what age are most people doing cuffing season?
I think it's like mid-20s, late 20s, mid to late 20s. Because if you're not already, we're already in the thick of it.
Oh, okay.
We're in the thick of it, I think. Into the thick of it.
I have to do it once.
Yeah, I don't know. I was gonna mention earlier too, is like, do you think that dating apps are just like increased popularity during this time? Like more and more people are on it around this time?
I do think that, but you know what's really interesting? So I was telling our friend how I felt like after the pandemic, we're not really after the pandemic, but a lot of things have opened up and have become more normal. I thought a lot of people were going to be on this dating app and coming out and finding love, just because they realized in these times when we were quarantining and isolating that they were really lonely. And I don't know if that's true.
No, I feel like it's been the opposite.
I thought that was what was going to happen, because I was telling him, I was like, wait till like things open up.
Yeah.
People are going to be searching for love left and right. And I don't know if that's true at all.
Well, okay, yeah, that's true. I don't know if that's true just because of the people we're friends with aren't like that at all. They're not
Yeah,
immediately.
so we're in our mid-20s, and it's that age where people are at all different points. Like, people are going back to school, people are getting married, they're moving out, they're starting new jobs. Why is it that everyone's getting married except for my friends?
Calling everybody, how everybody's on blast here.
Everyone who's friends with me, why aren't you getting married?
Okay, but like also say, no one is getting married around my age. But it's like on Facebook now. I'll see like all of these people I went to high school with are all getting married. Some are about to have like their first kid. It's scary. I'm just sitting here and I'm like, I feel like a child myself. But yeah, I don't know. Why are we all lonely people? I think it's kind of like a common thing though. Like, I don't know. I feel like a lot of.
I think it's really common at our age to not have someone.
Yeah,
I like
don't know
any
why.
age, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like being single is just like
it's common.
Yeah, it's common.
It's very common.
Yeah, but yeah, going back to your point of like, I'm not really actively looking for anything too. So it's like.
I forgot I asked that. That was so long ago.
That was so long ago, but it's kind of, yeah. I don't know. I thought I should just reference it. I've just been like, I'm not desperate, I promise.
Taking applications for Angela right now.
Oh my goodness, there's like TikToks going on. I'll see that they'll be like sending, like they'll go on a first date and then send like a feedback survey and be like, how was I on this first date? And I'm honestly like not even kidding. I'm like, maybe I should do that.
I think we should just take applications. We need a pre-screen.
Pre-screen? Yeah. Do you like the Princess Bride deal?
Who? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I wish.
Or not Princess Bride, Princess Diaries.
Yes, yeah. I knew exactly what you're talking about. I wish one of my friends had all these people that they were like considering between, so we could do one of these slideshows.
Honestly, as I grow older and older, arranged marriage is kind of like, that seems like a decent deal.
Who would you trust to arrange your marriage?
Yeah, my family.
Your parents or your siblings?
Friends. Oh, my siblings. My siblings 100%.
Which sibling? I think you need a combination of all of them, to be honest.
I do think I need a combination because I feel like Monica would know the better people, like, right? Like she would, I think I think she knows like would know a pool or something.
Alan would call them out on their flaws.
Yeah, I was like, I think Alan would nitpick.
If something was really problematic about a person and very concerning, Alan would speak up about it.
Yeah, and then I think it's like, it's whether or not they get along with Emily as well.
Oh.
I think it's like they have to get along with my siblings. But like when I seek, especially because like, I don't know, I feel like I'm really close with my siblings, that to an extent, I seek validation from them about who my friends are, because in the past I've had just like, I've been like associated or like been friends with like people who they were just not a fan of, and at the end of the day ended up being right. And it was just like, that's why I think I seek Alan's kind of validation, because he is.
Alan will call people out. Mm-hmm.
I do think he is sometimes just like, I don't know, his I don't know, his characteristic or whatever is just to be kind of like,
he's very direct.
Yeah, I would trust my siblings to arrange a marriage for me though.
Really?
I think so.
I feel like I would trust my sister in terms of if someone wasn't good for me or I needed her to point out flaws, she'd be able to do that. But I don't know if she would set me up with someone I like.
Okay.
And I only have one sister, so
yeah, you don't have like a brain trust.
Yeah, it's my parents and my sister. Pause for a few seconds. Let's just pause for a minute casually to take a break.